We have a massive battle between two massive smart displays. We have the Skylight Calendar Max and the Hearth Display. Which one is right for you and your family and will keep you actually organized? Keep on watching our honest comparison to find out. All right, let's unpack this. And before I tell you more about the difference between the Skylight Calendar Max and the Hearth Display, let me unbox this, get this all set up, go from there. Sound good? Good. But first of all, this comes in a great box. Nicely designed out. Even got the logo embossed there. It's a nice little touch. This is massive, isn't it? Check that out, it's huge. Ugh. It's a big old display, isn't it? Ugh. Man, it's heavy. Ugh. It also has a power supply. Also has a power supply there, and the mount very similar to the Hearth Display. Let's plug this bad boy in. Is there any other way to prop it up? I don't know. Power adapter here. Plug it in. Let it power on. I've got my iPad so I can set this up and show you how it works. It says to remove the screen protector after installation, so I'm going to do that. So don't worry about these things being on here. So let's connect to our Wi-Fi real quick. Connected. Has internet. Download updates. The device may restart. Now I've got my iPad here. Let me sign in to the app. Enter the activation code. So here's how we activate it. Okay. 8, 4, 8, 7, 8, 2. We've updated the chore chart. You can now view chores at a glance. That's chores, just like the Hearth Display does. Let's enter our zip code. I will say just right off the bat, this is much snappier than the first Skylight calendar that we tried out. Let's see about our calendars. All right, now it's time to set up your calendars. Here's what you do. You simply click on the calendar and see there's nothing there. And then you can even look at the week and see if there's something there. Nope, there's not. You can, add an event from this screen, but that's not what we're trying to do. You're trying to add a new calendar. So I believe if you hit on sync, here it is, you can allow full access to the calendars that are on the device you have, which is great if you have, like on this iPad, I'm not using all the calendars that I use on my phone, but you can sync a new calendar, and I'm gonna do Google. I'm gonna put in my Gmail address here. And I want to turn on two-way sync, so if I change something on the calendar, it changes something on the app as well. And give access to Skylight Calendar, pretty typical stuff here. And then it's going to download my calendars. Now I have a lot of appointments on here, and so it's going to take it just a little bit, and then it's going to ask which one of the calendars do you want to sync. I'll sync my work one and my Gmail, and it's going to sync. And it says just, hey, you know what, come back to the Skylight Calendar and it should be there. And it's not. Interesting, but I see it on the iPad app on the right. So I tried for literally, 30, 45 minutes to figure out how to get this whole thing to sync up. And I'm super embarrassed I even spent that long, but I actually found out there's a really simple option. I actually reached back out to Skylight support, and they got right back to me within a couple hours, and they said, hey, have you tried unplugging and plugging back in your device? And of course, being a typical guy, I did not. And the second I did that, I was able to plug it in, and voila, here is what the calendar looked like. So if you have problems getting it stuck on that very first sync, just unplug the calendar, plug it back in. Like I said, I tried way too much time trying to get this to work, and all I needed to do was to plug it in, unplug it, and to plug it back in. Like I said, I spent way too much time doing this, and all I needed to do was unplug it and plug it back in. Now that we've got this all worked out, let me show you all the features of the Skylight Calendar Max. Okay, I finally got this set up in a different spot because there's no stand actually to the back of this. You have to mount it to the wall, which is totally fine if you know that going into it. So I actually have it on a couch here to show you exactly how this works. So here is the default view. You see it has Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then you can hit next week and it will go next week. It has a schedule view, which is pretty nice. It also has a day view, which I actually like this if you have a lot of stuff going on one day. Has a week view, which you just saw, and then the month view. Pretty slick. I actually found out what the problem was when I was trying to set this up earlier. I just need to unplug the calendar and plug it back in. Very typical. Did you restart? I did not. So let's go back here to this. Actually do the week view. You'll see that there are multiple events that don't show up completely on this. You can scroll up and down on these. That's very nice. This is a lot snappier than the previous version of the Skylight calendar that we tried out. I'm going to talk about a couple of other unique features that it has. Chores. This is something that the Hearth calendar or Hearth Display also has. Okay, let's get started. Let's just say I'm going to do chip, save. Got nothing to do today. I can add a chore, put on here, film stuff. Nice big display, huh? It does look like it's like the standard stock Android display, which is, okay, but it's not, it's not nearly as refined as that Hearth display is. I can say that, I'm actually gonna repeat this every day. Oh, gotta assign it to somebody, to me. Film stuff every day. Check it off. Woohoo! Complete all my chores today. Pretty sweet. You can also add other people, just like the Hearth display. Let's assign this. Oops, I got to add a new profile. That is a little funky thing that I have seen with this is everything is assigned to profiles, which is not the easiest to create on here. You have to create them on the app, I believe. Let's see, can we create a new profile on here? No, not that I see. So that is something you have to do on the app itself, just so you know that. Let's go to meals. This is another cool feature that I really like. It says plan the week's meals in 5 minutes and never answer, what are we eating? So we can add some recipes, use recipes to plan your week, and existing dinner plans are moved into meals. So let's go next. Tap one or more meal times to add a meal. Okay. Choose a recipe from your box. Hold a meal time to add another meal. Complete. So let's just say we're gonna do, let's just do dinners. And let's do eat out. Let's do pizza. Let's do spaghetti. Let's do tacos. Let's do burgers. Let's do takeout. So now you have all of your meals. Don't know if this actually shows up on here. Don't see it showing up on here. But pretty cool how you can schedule that all out. This is a software feature. I wouldn't be surprised to see if Hearth Display had this also. Next is photos. You can add new photos from the device itself. It's part of the premium plan. I'll talk about that more here in just a second, but it can, if we want to have a little inception here, you can see, this is just a picture I took to show off the display. It's a really nice, high quality display. If you have vertical photos, it can show them next to each other. And really cool little option that it can show multiple photos, not just one. That Hearth Display that I reviewed earlier can just review one. And then list, so we can do a grocery list. We can add, you know, cheese, and let's do rolls. And you'll see them here. Pretty cool. That's a grocery list. Go to sleep. You can tell it when you want it to go to sleep, when you want it to turn on or off. And then it has some settings which are kind of limited, honestly, on the actual calendar itself. Most of the display settings, which I'll walk through here in just a second, are really focused on the app itself. So I'll talk about that more here in just a second. You know, preview chores and calendar view, you can turn that on or off. The chores, once again, I only have this one profile to assign to. Photos, you can have that screensaver turn on automatically after 10 minutes or any other minutes. You can have a background blur effect if there is that vertical photo, and turn sound on or off by default. I'd highly recommend turning that off. And then you can have some reminders on it. So I like that. I haven't played around with that a whole lot, but it's a cool way to do this. Another little flaw about the calendar itself is it's not very easy to turn on and off calendars. So I've got a lot of different events on my personal calendar, but also on my work calendar. And I was playing around with this earlier. The only way to get your work calendar to not show up on here, if you have it connected to your profile, which is tied to an email address, is to delete it. And so it's easy to do on the app itself. I'll walk through a little bit more on how to do that, but a little bit of a pain that you can't toggle on and off different calendars, because sometimes my family wants to see what I'm doing, and sometimes they don't. They don't care about my one-on-ones or my strategy meetings I have during the week. You can also add a calendar event here. Boop, boop. Nice and easy. Pick a sync calendar. You can put it to sync on my Gmail. Pretty cool. Nice and easy. Overall, I think this is a giant improvement from the original Skylight calendar. I'm gonna give you a couple other thoughts on this before I give you my final verdict, but it looks a lot better. It is so much faster. My biggest complaint about the previous Skylight calendar, besides the size, it was real small and kind of tough to see, but it was just slow. It was running a really slow version of Android. This is super peppy, and I really appreciate that they've spent the time to speed it up and refine the process. You can tell some of it's just standard stock Android stuff, like the keyboard. It's a little bit different on the Hearth Display, but they've overall done a really good job kind of cleaning up their overall look. And yeah, let me talk about a couple other cool things. Cool? Cool. All right, you may have seen this magic import. This is a really cool feature. It's very similar to the same feature as the one on Hearth, but it is part of the upgrade. So you have to upgrade, what do they call it? Skylight Plan Plus. To get a couple of things. The photo screensaver, which I think is silly. That should be included. You shouldn't have to pay for that. Meal planning and magic import. Magic import, I understand actually paying for. It's really easy. You can send forward school emails, photos and screenshots. This is a link to our Skylight. Don't try and send anything there because we're going to change the address after this. But really cool way to add items to your calendar without having to manually type them in. I'm sure you've had like dance classes or something else where like you get 25 things on there. You simply forward it. It's AI assisted and allows you to put those invites on there without you having to do anything at all. That is super, super awesome. So yeah, once again, here's the upgrade to these paid features. You can save a little bit. I'll put the exact details on the side of the screen here. If you do upgrade, you can save some money. If you do buy the calendar and agree to actually buy the Plus plan too, but I think it's saved like 50 bucks. It's a price, this retails for $5.99 for the shadow box frame. I think it's $5.69 right now for the frame like this. Comes in a couple different colors. I'll show you what that looks like. But let me walk you a little bit through the app, because that's really where a lot of the stuff happens. Cool? Cool. All right, let me just walk you quickly through the actual app itself. The first thing that shows up is devices. This is the only one we have. You click on that, because I have no upcoming events today. Look at our calendar. This has just our personal stuff and the actual holidays on there. Chores, you can look at the chore list from here. I'm gonna film some stuff I'm doing right now, marking it as complete. Also, you can look at the profiles here. Now you can't add one there. You have to add your profiles by going here. And then you can add a profile to be like my son, Teddy. Yeah, pick a color, let's do red, select red, save. And now you have a profile, and you can link a calendar to them if you want. You can do your meal planning from this button there. You can add additional photos and add to the slideshow there. But here's one of the cool things I wanted to show you in the app. This is the sidekick, and you can import events, plan meals, import a recipe, or import a list. I just copied and pasted a cookie recipe, and I'm gonna add it with the URL. Let's see. Send a sidekick. There we go. Let's go to recipes. Let's add a snack. The best chocolate chip cookies. Now, yeah, there it is. There is the instructions. That's pretty cool. You can sync more calendars. So if I want some of these ones to show up, that's where I select them. I can also add a new calendar. Once again, profiles shows you what calendars are synced. There's my Gmail. And then also you can manage your list here, which would be a lot easier to do just than typing on that large screen. You talk to the mic, take a photo, or even upload an image, and it will add it to your list, which is pretty cool. And then just a couple of the general settings that are here on the app, but you really do need the app to at least set it up and to get it all synced. And you know what? I really like the sidekick feature. All right, let me go and give you the final verdict. All right, when it comes to digital family calendars, both the Hearth Display and the Skylight Calendar Max have their pros and their cons. However, after putting both of them through their paces, we found ourselves leaning slightly towards the Hearth Display. Here's why. First of all is the family-centric design of that Hearth Display. It feels like it was crafted with families in mind, especially young kids. And a really small but big standout feature for us is the ability to add your kids' photos to the chores section. It may seem like a really small, tiny thing, but it transforms routine tasks into engaging activities for the little ones. It also has a very refined app experience in the display itself. Navigating it is a breeze. And unlike some devices like the Skylight Calendar that stick you with clunky stock Android keyboards and didn't really think through all the user experience, Hearth has really invested in a polished and user-friendly interface that makes managing family schedules less of a chore. One other thing we liked was the ability to have on-device calendar control. I've got a lot of meetings on my calendar, and most time we don't want to see it, but the Skylight Calendar makes you open up the app to sync those on and off, and the Hearth Calendar, you can do it right from the display. That is awesome. And last but definitely not least, setting up the Hearth Display was a lot easier. I didn't run into the same issues. I didn't have to restart it for it to work. It worked the very first time. And plus we kind of like the vertical orientation. It makes it feel like more natural and easier to fit in our home's layout. That's not to say though that the Skylight Calendar is bad in and of itself. It does a couple of things better than the Hearth Display. It has a really great meal planning feature. Now this is just software, so obviously Hearth can update their display to have some of this functionality as well, but it's a nifty addition, but not enough to convince us that we should use the Skylight Calendar Max, and I'm really not sure if we would actually use it at all, just to be honest. One area that the Skylight Calendar Max does a much better job is in their magic import feature. Now this seems to use some on-device AI to import events, import recipes, which is great. And they just have executed this feature a lot better. The Hearth display has their Hearth helper and it works pretty good. You do have to text message or email it in, and it just takes a little bit longer, but it does work. And then Skylight has been around for a long time. You know this company is probably not going anywhere. They've sold tons of calendars, they sold tons of frames. They've been around for a while. And they frankly improved their product since we tried it first. The bottom line is both devices offer valuable features, and you really can't make a mistake with either one. However, if you want a family-friendly approach and more functionality available on screen, check out the Hearth Display. And that's what we're going to keep in our house, and plus it's mounted to the wall, so probably going to be tough to move anyway. But if you have any questions or comments about this, please let us know in the comments below. We hope to see you again real soon.